I get the question a lot about when a child should move from recreational soccer into club soccer. And I will say that it's a very personal decision. I would never tell a parent it's right or wrong to move a player. There's a lot of factors to consider when making that move. But from my experience, I want to share what I think makes the biggest difference for players when they make that move. Often what I hear is that my child is scoring a lot of goals and, rec is too easy and we're looking to move up. And that can be very true. But what I see as being the biggest factor in whether a player is going to have success at the club level and enjoy it is their desire to practice. They have to want to get better. Sometimes players of the recreation are having fun because they can score lots of goals and they can kind of do what they want and they don't really have to learn certain things to have success on the field. And that's kind of where their enjoyment from the game comes from. When they step at the club level, that changes. That level of soccer requires different skills, players to do different things. And part of that is more practice to learn those skills and get better at things they currently aren't able to do. This is where I see players struggle when they move to the club level, regardless of how good they're doing or how well they're doing at the recreational level. When it comes to practicing, I'm not saying that players all of a sudden need to want to train 5 to 7 days a week. What I'm saying is that when they attend practice, that they're excited about it. They're looking forward to learn something new. They are listening to their coaches and trying really hard to learn these new skills. I see a lot of players who had success at the rec level, but at practice, when we move to the club level, they're not willing to learn and try to do these new things. They want to stay and do what's worked for them in the past. Or and I should say, because of that, they'll start becoming frustrated as they're playing at this level because what worked before isn't working now and they aren't really willing to change. And all of a sudden, they really don't want to practice. They don't really listen to their coach. They aren't really trying to do those things. They just kind of wanted to play. So when you're considering moving to the club level, whether it's just for your child or your coach, moving a team, which I deal with a lot with Class Eagles, this is a big determinant of how successful those players or that player will be is their desire to practice and get better. There are players at the recreational level maybe aren't having a ton of success, but they are working hard in practice and they're listening to their coaches. When they move to the club level, some of the things that they're trying to do at the recreational level that wasn't working will now work at the club level. And because they work hard at practice, they listen, they're trying to do those new skills, you see them growing and flourishing sometimes more at the club level than players who are having more success prior in the rec level. So when you're considering this is something you have to look at for your child. Do they enjoy practicing the game? Do they want to learn new skills? Does it seem like they have the desire to, kind of continue to grow in the game? Or are they just having fun, in terms of, just scoring goals, being able to do what they want and, and just what kind of the recreational level provides. But so this is what I see the biggest change when players move to the club level is that the desire for practice has to be there. And again, I don't mean that all of a sudden the kid has to train 2 or 3 hours every day on their own. It just means that when when their team does practice, whether it's once a week or twice a week, that when they attend practice, they're really working hard at trying to develop these new skills that are required to have success at the club level. If you have a player or a group of players who do that, you will in time continue to have success at the club level. If you have players who aren't willing to do that and they're very resistant to it and they really just want to stick to their own ways, these are the groups that I see struggle the most when they make that transition to club soccer.